Hello, welcome to my process of making yarn that I used for my Telio project. First, you start off with like an old stained raggedy shirt that you find. Obviously, you're going to lay it out nice and flat. You're going to start by cutting right under the arms and separate the two pieces. It's a little bit more difficult to make the top piece into yarn, so just for this video, I'm going to show you how to make the easy part of it. So then you're going to cut the lines from the side seam to the other side seam, but you're not going to cut all the way through, and try your best to keep them equal. Now this process takes a pretty long time, so this video is even in ×2 speed, so this is faster than I actually do it. So while you're watching me cut out the fabric, I'm going to talk a little bit about the math behind this all. So for my skirt, it has 20 squares. Then on the shirt, it brings me to 8 squares. So that's 28 squares in total, which rounds to about 18 t-shirts. So 18 t-shirts times 10, just for the yarn, is 180 minutes, which rounds to 3 hours in total. So then if I round out my knitting to at least 30 minutes each, it comes to about 840 minutes, which is 14 hours on the knitting alone, which the blanket stitching took around 2 to 3 hours per garment, which if we then calculate everything, that's about 20 hours alone just on the knitting. So once this cutting step is done, you're going to put your hand through the middle part. This is how I found it easiest to do. It kind of looks like a rib cage. You're going to stick your hand right through the middle, and then you're going to cut off one edge, and only one edge. This is then going to leave you with the option to cut only diagonally. So I like to do it right to left. So my right would be lower and then my left would be higher. And then you just do that throughout the entire shirt, and doing it diagonally just ensures that all of the pieces are together. But hypothetically, if you messed up on this, you can just tie the yarn together. What I like to call next is the last 2 steps, which is pulling the yarn. This just gives it the nice, because it's knitted, it gives it a nice knitting texture. So that step is just pulling. And then after pulling is rolling, so I like to call it the pull and roll. And then voila, you have just a ball of yarn, which knits up about 1.5 squares. And then here's me knitting with my birds so gracefully helping me. Once I had my squares, I would set them up how I want to do them together, and then I would blanket stitch them all together. So